Hello, I am the Ronin Paul, and that is Nations. No, this is Nation. You used the wrong. That's the wrong model for that and this. What are that and this in terms of language? So certainly not a noun or verb. Is it an article? Are they articles? They're pronouns? Are they pronouns? That and no, that's more of a him and a her. What the hell is a that and this? Hang on, everybody. I mean, it can be a pronoun, but it doesn't say more like a determiner. Look at that man over there. Yes, determiner. Is that a part of language? I was never taught determiner when I was in school. God, you kids with your science these days. Welcome to Kentucky. We've got science too. We got kids making rocket ships for us. I may be a little bit intoxicated. What time is it? 3 p.m. Several sheets to the wind. Things have not been going great around Kentucky lately. You know, we're down to 19.9 trillion beers a year on our income. Like, average income is $25,532, which is still okay. Okay, listen, I live on like less than 12. Probably closer to 10. When you take out expenses, more like 6,000 beers a year. And at least 12 rum and cokes. Things have not been going so well monetarily. I need to fix that today. X marks the cult. A plot of land which is simultaneously where the founder of the Order of Violet, I remember them, was allegedly born, where the Jesus, hell. How many options do you have here? It's like an 18-minute show. You expect me to read all this?
Where the tranquility of yellow claims the goddess will descend, and where the cult of pizza plans to build its temple called the Pizza Church of Pepperoni, has been claimed by all three religions. The three religious leaders have cornered you after another ribbon-cutting ceremony and have demanded that you settle their conflict. The Dead Ocean Scrolls clearly state that us Violetists are the real owners of the land, declares the Grand
Okay, so they're Israel.
Those scrolls are nothing but mistranslated hogwash. All this area belongs to us. Okay.
So that's kind of like the Gaza Strip, you know, that kind of thing.
All must hail His Immaculate Munchiness, announced Earl Thomas, the former Luigi Brothers pizzeria owner.
I don't know who that is. That's, Putin. Alright, fine. The Dead Ocean Scrolls clearly state that us Violetists are the real owners of this land, declares the Grand Purple Mistress of Violetism, as she makes threatening gestures toward you and the other leaders. We deserve to be able to practice our animal sacrifices, so why can't we go along, take the land, and do it there? No one else is unique as we are. Oh, you're admitting that you're crazy, are you? The only thing we ask, is that a pronoun or? Only a few million beers to build our temple and everything else will be taken care of. Okay, so we can get rid of the Violetists, just give them a piece of holy land that because some git wrote down, several thousand years ago, this land is ours, so says the Lord. Looking at you, Israel. Those scrolls are nothing but mistranslated hogwash. All of this area belongs to us, asserts her jaundiceness, the eccentric and indecisive leader of the Tranquility of Yellow. Ooh. Yellow v. Violet. These idiotic Violetists and believers in a major religion only care about the majority of people in Kentucky. What about the minority? The ones that believe invisible dragons fly around and that everyone should pay for making a personal sacrifice to the great advertising billboard. We would freely allow all of them to come in and listen to our completely objective teachings. Now, as for the majority, they'll just be banned from coming. What? You thought we would kill them? We're not that crazy. We're not the Violetists. I don't understand any of this. I don't get who you are or what your incentive is. The Yellowists, but you talk about the great advertising billboard. I got a feeling that they're, corporate stooges trying to just manipulate the issues so that they can sell things to people. All must hail His Immaculate Munchiness, which I guess is kind of like the guys at the airport with the baldness but also the ponytail in the back. You were a monk, man. Yeah, but I didn't have a ponytail, so it was all okay. All must hail His Immaculate Munchiness, announces Earl Thompson, a former Luigi Brothers pizzeria owner, who claims that the franchise's insane prices literally sent him to a mental hospital. We are aware that other religions should be allowed to exist in this world, yet these two are claiming the land for inhumane and overall unusual reasons. In the Cult of Pizza's opinion, the Cult of Pizza, the church we will build will have a free pizza buffet for all. The only cost? Well, we aren't really building a church, per se. We're actually building a pizza store with a church inside of it. That's a small price to pay for his holy crustiness. The Pope? You honestly don't have to listen to any of these screwballs, bemoans your politically ambitious cousin, who's been giving you poor leadership advice since you became leader of Kentucky. Sup, cuz? You can use the area to do other things, like, weave baskets. Whatever the case, it would be much better to do this than let any of these insane religions take a perfectly viable plot of land. Oh, I will also own the plot of land, not you. To avoid a conflict of interest or whatever. You do trust me, right? Oh, yes. Of course, cousin by, what was your name again? Don't even know. Have you forgotten what I told you about sharing and compromise reminds your mother? Oh, who returned from a shopping spree at the store you just opened. Did I open a store? I'm really not paying attention. Why not force all those religions to share this plot of land? Divide it up into 3 separate spaces with a communal center in the middle. Some may not like sharing the ground with their mortal enemies, and you'll need extra police presence to curb potential violence, but fair is fair, right? Yeah, that's worked out so well in the Middle East. And Israel. The Gaza Strip, the West Bank. Literally all other countries in the world at some point in history. It's worked out so well. Good idea, Ma. And the pawn said, let them eat pizza. I judged the pizza guy more worthy. Pizzerias must now display shrines to the pizza god. Tourism industry discount, benefit locals, workforce participation jumps. Pizza healthier than previously believed, scientists reveal. Parents teach preschoolers preemptive strike doctrine. Obesity rates are up, so that's good. Hey, it's pizza. The rate of atheism is up, which is interesting, because we have a pizza god now, you would think. I guess I convinced people that religion is even stupider than they thought before. Baseball League steps up to the plate. The Batter Up Baseball League has begun to grow in popularity and is now seeking government support in establishing teams and stadiums throughout the nation. Holy cow, is this gonna be great? Howler's Booble president and sports nut Rebecca Fallopian. This country's going down the tubes. Hi, Becca. Hi, a little wink to a nod as a blind bat waving a fashionable giant foam finger. Baseball is just what Pawtucket needs right now. Think about it. Soda, popcorn, hot dogs. We've already got a pizza god. Oh, and I'm sure the economy will benefit somehow too. All we need is the government funding to build stadiums and teams, and we'll be on every TV and in every city in the country. I will consider that for the increased number of beers. Also, they'll probably sell beers at the stadium. You're going to spend the taxpayers' money on what? Counters Minister of Finance Zach Mann from a newly furnished office. I mean, I love playing a good game of baseball every now and then, but does the government really need to go around supporting this? The only people that are going to benefit are a bunch of fat cat burger vendors and bored hicks with nothing better to do on Sunday afternoon. We need to stop spending so much money on these ridiculous games and get back to what's really important. Running the business of the country. Indeed, the business of the country is popcorn, hot dogs, baseball. Major cities shut down as their local sports team takes to the field every day. I mean, it's basically the most boring of the sporting events. No, bowling is more exciting. Economists bullish on Pawtuckian economy. See, that's why I did it. I'm no hero, says heroic Pawtuckian. Thanks for quoting me. Tourism industry braces for influx. Sausage gate deaths preventable. Coroner rules. Well, the whatever index is up on the political apathy, so that's good, but I'm looking for money. How do we do on the money there? Huh? Lots of monies, right? Where's my monies? Economic output. We're up 0.44% in beers. I would have thought a bigger bump. Man, we really should have done hockey. Friends, Pawtuckians, countrymen, lend me... Never mind. After the Citizenship and Immigration Services announced that they received a record number of applicants for naturalization, people want to come here. People have once again begun to debate who should or should not be considered Pawtuckian countrymen. Well, blood really decides it all, claims armchair eugenicist Anne-Marie Breitbart. Oh my God. There's a Breitbart in the building. Call the exterminator. Yes, I need cockroach motels immediately. Motels? Well, they check in. They don't check in. Without the genes that allowed for such historical greatness, our ancestors could never have built such a fine country. To protect their timeless achievements, we must settle once and for all that a citizen of Pawtucket can only come from ethnically pure parents. Other races cannot pollute our citizenry, lest they undermine the very values that the nation depends on. Seagull! Seagull! Hey. That's absolutely horrific. Hollers Earl Harris, a Lilliputian immigrant. Pawtucket needs to be open to all colors, creeds, and cultures that come here to live a better life. Also needs to be open to lots of assonance. With C's in particular. Nothing justifies punishing people for having the wrong birthplace or family tree. Everyone born in Pawtucket deserves the right for equal treatment. And even if you weren't born here, it should be easy to join the ranks of your fellow citizens. Well, as fellow sounds like reasonable human. Oh, he's Lilliputian? Get him out of here, he smells. Anyone hypothetically can become a citizen, but they first need to fully understand our way of life, remarks civics teacher Kendra Octavian, before strapping on a set of mechanical arms and terrorizing Spider-Man. If you're not ready to learn the values that are the bedrock of Pontucky, you've got no business being part of our rogue nation. That means memorizing all 40 verses of the national anthem and being able to list all 1,024 cantons in alphabetical order. I don't know what a canton is, but 1,024. At least we've done it in, hexadecimal. Like any true citizen of Pontucky can. Only those who pass a stringent exam can prove themselves to be true Pontuckians. Now listen, as a man who wouldn't mind just kind of flipping, I wouldn't mind moving to Canada. The way things are going. I don't want to invoke the Trump card here. But, just Canada seems so. I can be at basically the same latitudinal summer-winter cycle and just have healthcare and stuff. Only problem is, I don't really want to learn the history of Canada. I know the English, the French, and the Inuit, and everybody fought over it, and everybody was a dick to everybody else, and then you made the tracks on the riverfront that went all the way in, and you gave those to the princes of France or whatever, and then the English came over and said, what the hell is this? And then they took it from. I know some of the history, but I don't want to learn the friggin' oh, Canada, just to get in. Listen, I'm a refugee. I'm an American refugee. Just let me in. I need to be free. I need to be free in terms of the health care that I get. I need that. I've got fatigue issues, chronic fatigue syndrome, people. I need help. Canada, help me. Census workers struggle to account for the rapidly increasing number of citizens to tabulate. Pontucky's civil rights rose from good to very good. Nah. Diverse options for Pontucky's varied youth, civil rights activists. Now we're getting somewhere. Income's rising, economists say. See, I told you I would get to more money for everyone. Tourism industry discounts benefit locals. Inclusiveness up by 2.5%. That's a big jump, especially since we started out, bickering over whether or not to give Israel to the god of pizza or the god of violence. Affirmative action in Pontucky after minority student Jean-Luc Watson was refused admission to a traditional prestigious college. Civil rights activists, conservatives, and teachers are up in arms about affirmative action and ethnic equality in education. This could be a landmine. I think you'll find there's actually no problem here, observes conservative speaker and hair care product salesman Chodal. A student wants to go to a particular school, but lacks the grades. Clearly, he should have studied harder in school. But because he's a so-called minority, it's everyone else's fault. I'm sorry, but the system is working perfectly well. What gets you into a good school is merit alone, or, failing that, a generous donation. Does tend to be the case, doesn't it? A bit of nepotism and or money will smooth the path. Are you blind, or do you simply refuse to see? Thunders civil rights activist, former TV commentator, and unabashed publicity speaker Harry Krugman. Oh yes, it's all perfectly equal if we ignore the fact that this poor boy was stacking shelves to pay for textbooks in a falling down school while the nice rich boys were enjoying private tutoring. Affirmative action is needed to balance out the very real disadvantages. Okay, stop at the mouth. The very real advantages that many students grow up with. And there's no better way to identify that disadvantage than with broad, sweeping demographics. I don't know if you should be sweeping broads around like that. You're just trading racism for genderism. I think you're both loony, says Matilda Ross, professor of liberal arts at Pontucky National University. PNU? PTNU, post-traumatic. In my humble opinion, the solution is simple. Make college education free to all. Why turn away anyone? Throw open the gates and make college education available to every citizen of Pontucky, regardless of their economic status, grades, or work ethic. Thank you, Matilda Ross. It is the thing that's in this country where we don't do such a thing where, you can have K-12 for free, and then the last 4 years that actually, give you a profession, that actually give you an opportunity to move into a realm of employment that doesn't involve facing cereal boxes in a grocery aisle at midnight. That you're going to have to pay for, and you're going to have to pay an immense amount of money for it because we have just let it completely off the hook. Over the course of the past 3 or 4 decades, relative cost of getting college education in this country has gone from entirely doable in most places. Entirely doable to go to like a state university or something like that, to just, holy crap, I'm going into debt and it's going to take me a minimum of 10 years working in an industry once I have the degree in order to pay just the debt off, let alone living a life and buying a house or maybe raising children or anything like that. It is astonishingly stupid that college education is not free, especially when you consider if there's one place in this nation where we could spend money and it would improve life for everyone, everywhere, instantly, it would be to give secondary education, to take it all the way to a 4-year degree. Crime rates would fall and employment figures would go up and everyone's income would rise and just the entire nation, no matter who you are, even if you're the guy sitting there going, oh, they don't deserve it, your life will be improved by the people whom you think don't deserve it when they have a degree. If we spent the money, I mean, I like to rant and rave about healthcare in this country and how that should just be paid for, how we should have universal, socialist, nationalized healthcare, collect our taxes, and then everybody's got healthcare no matter what the issue. I like to rant and rave about that, but before that gets done, before I would think about spending money on a universal system of national health care, this should happen. This should happen. Everyone should be getting free education all the way up to the 4-year degree because it is just instant, it's ramen noodles in a cup in terms of making a nation and the world at large better by just throwing some money at it. Like, we look stupid for everyone looks stupid who's not doing this. You can still have your privatized universities and claim that they're better than the other ones, whatever. But we're gonna have free education for everybody. Damn the costs and damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. Everyone gets free education. Pawtucke's free colleges struggle to maintain standards in the face of overwhelming demand. I know there's gonna be a lot of people flooding into it, but there's just more. It's gonna settle down, and everyone gets an opportunity in life to move forward, succeed. I have spoken to so many young people throughout the course of my life, both when I was a young people and when I became an old man as I am now, who would ask them, what do you want to do with your life? Or, a more, less childish kind of equivalent of that question. What profession do you think you're going into when they're heading off to college? And it always starts out with, well, I something, and that well, comma, at the beginning of the sentence just tells you the whole story. Because it always goes, well, I really love animals, and I really have an interest. I interned at a veterinary, something like that. I want to be a vet. But, it's always going to be but. That well, comma, just tells you there's going to be a but. And then the but comes in, and you hear about, the nursing is such a booming industry right now. There's always work in the nursing industry, and if I want economic stability, and it's like, God, people, don't, just quit wasting your lives. You want to try something, try it. It's the worst thing that can happen. I won't make enough money, I'll have a bunch of debt. Who cares? Whether you pay back Wall Street or not. F them. It's your life. It's your life. What are you interested in? It doesn't have to be the choice that sticks with you forever, but God, if you've got something that you want to do and you just won't even take a couple of minutes, take 6 months to try it, try and enter into that industry at all, well, I gotta do the smart thing, go get the money. The smart thing, abandoning happiness so that you can have a higher degree of comfort throughout your life, you call that the smart thing? You need 4 more years of college, friend, if you think that's the smart thing. Demonstration ends in reasonable discussion and handshake. Screw that, I'm angry now. City planners consider 14-sided roundabout. Damn it, fucking roundabout. I will see you in city skylines. Teen builds working deep space exploration rocket. I don't know how to be angry about that, but I am. Cultural groups celebrate growing acceptance. Yay. Bastards. I'm gonna assume that's pronounced fatal furor? Fatal furor. Video coverage of a protest outside of an abortion clinic. Oh, it's fetal. As supports say, it is fetal? That's how you spell fetal? Are you sure? Is it fetal in Greek? Video coverage of a protest outside an abortion clinic has gone viral after the footage indicated that pro-life campaigners prevented ingress of pregnant women, causing the patients visible distress. In response, the Women's Liberation League has pushed for a bill that it says would protect access to clinics. Passing this bill would be an important step in protecting a woman's right to choose, testifies the Women's Liberation League's spokesperson, Ashley Roosevelt's. The fact of this matter is that these protesters are obstructing women as they try to exercise a basic human right. When someone wants to terminate a pregnancy, the law ought to be on her side. I don't know if it's a basic human right. I mean, I'm not going to say that, it shouldn't be protected. You might be stretching it a bit. Making abortion legal was a good first step, but we need to go further to secure these women's safety. Anti-abortion activists ought to be required to stand in designated areas far away from the clinics they're protesting. What about the right to free speech, please, Gerald Revolution, lawyer for the pro-life activists depicted in the footage? These are public spaces, and my clients should have the freedom, as well as the ability, to get their views across. You may disagree with them, but it would be draconian for the government to prohibit the citizens from revealing to people the truth about any medical procedure they are getting. I don't like the idea of forcing protesters to stand off in a certain area, because that ends up getting used. It is being used in the country I live in today to make sure that the protest doesn't have the effect that it's supposed to. Because when you force the protesters, yes, you can have the protest. It's just a quarter of a mile away from where we're actually holding the event. It doesn't get seen. It doesn't get covered. It doesn't have the effect that it's supposed to have. So, what you're trying to do there, cool. They shouldn't be blocking people from getting access to it. But the method, I'm not with it. Let's see if there's a better one. The truth is that these abortion mills, oh God, are killing thousands of children every year, cries Emily Ford, a local curate and youth worker. I don't know if that's how you say that, but I like it. The curate says the government must defend the rights of the unborn. They too are entitled to protection under the law, and ban this immoral practice immediately. Anything less is permitting murder. Hell, it's what she wrote. Angela, whatever her name is. I'm not that old yet. I'm getting there, though. Oppressor! Screams militant anti-theist Sherlock McCartney, pointing at the last speaker. A bunch of middle-aged, celibate men refusing to allow women to have control over their own bodies. All these barbarians are doing is peddling their outdated misogyny, and I'm tired of it. The only way we'll make any real social progress is to put a stop to their hate-mongering entirely. I insist that the whole anti-abortion movement be outlawed with stiff penalties for religious anti-choice advocates. I can't get behind that either, okay? I mean, the Supreme Court decision, Roe v. Wade, was an impressively good decision for the time and the day that it came down. Everybody hates it from both sides of the aisle. I look at it and say, it's brilliant. It's a good decision, because in that one decision, the Supreme Court of the United States recognized the state's inherent interest in the potential life of an unborn child, but they also recognized, women's rights and, their interest in protection for people who already exist in this world. It recognized both sides. It set a middle ground limit. It answered both people's concerns halfway, both sides of the issues, which meant nobody was happy and everybody hates Roe v. Wade, but it was the right decision. It was absolutely the right decision to make. So I'm not going to say that 50% of people just have to shut up and pretend like they're okay with it and we're going to fine you if you open your mouth. Certainly not. But at the same time, the best thing you've given me is to, make people who are protesting stand in designated areas far away from what they're protesting. And if we open that gate, then we're going to have what we have in the United States, which is, political figures who manipulate and misuse and abuse that and make sure that the protests don't have the effect that they're trying to have. And then when you're trying to use it, because you want to stop the anti-abortion people because they're clearly evil. But then when you need to, use the right to protest for something that you don't think is clearly evil, well, then where are you? Huh? You're standing over on 5th Street. Well, the thing you're protesting is downtown because they told you can't do it here. I can't do that. I can't do that. So what do? Just protect the rights of people. If they're locking arms and blocking women from getting access to the thing, that's not right either. You've not given me an option that is fair. That is... Screw you. Who wrote this? The most holy and grand empire of Christian Democrats. Oh, of course. It's between these two, and I feel very strongly about the idea of not restricting protest in certain spaces. If you can't protest at the site of the thing, then it defeats the purpose. So I've got to protect the right to protest here, even though this seems like it's no response whatsoever to people blocking access. which is definitely against our laws, damn it. Pro-life activists often lecture pregnant women undergoing routine prenatal screening. It's not what, Damn you, Microsoft! Avant-garde gallery popular yet confusing. Pawtucket more chill than ever before. Civil rights activists, now we're getting somewhere. Naked people protesting something again. See? That's what I had to protect. The right of people with their willies out, flopping around to, be right in the path of the bankers on the way to Wall Street after they've taken down their house. Can't you just imagine, don't you want to protect the rights of a man who's just like, yeah, you can go inside. You can go inside. You just got to get past me. Huh? So you want 9 inches of... Who's got 9 inches of anything? I am the Ronin Ball. That was a weird one. Wasn't it, though? I liked the issues. And I liked the rum and coke. Let's do this again sometime. Pawn out.